Good morning. We are going to be talking about today, let's get on the right screen, tenths. And when we're looking at tenths, we are looking at decimals, okay? We are looking at also fractions that have a denominator of 10. So we have tenths. Today we're going to be using fractions and decimals sort of interchangeably. And we're going to be looking at decimals by using grids like this that have a total of 10 bars, and some of them are going to be shaded, and we need to name the fraction or the decimal. We'll also be using and looking at place value charts as a way to represent decimals. And we will also be looking at number lines. Everything that we are going to be working with today is going to be, and let me just make sure I'm right. Yes, I am. Everything that we are going to be working with is less than one whole, okay? So nothing is greater than one, but nothing is smaller than zero, okay? So we're going to be working in the realm of between 0 and 1 on the number line, okay? This really small space reserved for really small numbers, okay? So looking at our example that we have on the front here, we're talking about some friends, and they like horses, and they go horseback riding, and they had some lessons, and there were 3 of them that were outside the barn. Looks like the other 7 lessons were probably inside the barn, brushing the horse, feeding them, watering them. But 3 out of those total of 10 times, they were outside. Okay, so we would name this 3 tenths of the lessons were outside. To write 3 tenths as a decimal, we can look at the place value chart down here. Now we know, like I said, these numbers are less than 1, but greater than 0. Okay, so there's no whole numbers. We're not dealing with any digits in the tens place, any digits in the ones place today. Okay, we're actually moving over one place, okay, still between 0 and 1 here, right? But we are working on the right-hand side of the decimal point with tenths today. So we can go ahead and put a 0 in the ones place because there's not going to be any whole numbers, right? We didn't use one whole group of lessons, a group of 10 lessons, right? We use less than because only 3 of them were outside. So to write 3 tenths as a decimal, put a 0 in the ones place, write your decimal point, and write a 3 to the right of your decimal point. This says 0.3 or 3 tenths. The big difference there is that the THS is on the end of 10, so it's not the tens place, it's the tenths place that exists on the right-hand side of the decimal. Okay, so the decimal point here is just before the ones place, okay, but before the 0. So all these numbers are less than 1 whole, but greater than 0. All right, so 3 or 0.3 tenths of the horseback riding lessons were outside. Okay, so again, using strips and using place value charts are going to help us out today. Go ahead and flip this page over. I'm looking at page 638. Now, I'm looking at example 2, and this is using the number line. And again, here we are sitting between 0 and 1. Okay, so nothing is greater than 1 whole, but everything is greater than 0. So we have a campground. It has 10 sites. 8 of the sites have some campers. The rest are empty. What part of this campground is empty? No people, no tents, no cars, no barbecues, no nothing. We have 8 of them that have campers. Okay, how many are left that could be possibly empty? Okay, so we have 8 of them that have campers, right? But how many are empty? We got 2 left, right, for the entire one whole campground to be filled up. So that means, well, out of 10 campsites, 2/10 of those campsites are empty. Or if 2 out of 10 campsites, excuse me, if 8 out of 10 campsites have campers, then 2 out of 10 campsites do not. And so here we have our 2/10, or we have 2/10 written as a decimal here. Okay, so put a 0 in the ones place, add your decimal, and write your 2 to the right of the decimal point. That says 2/10. Okay. All right, so number lines, grids, and place value charts. Let's take a look at guided practice number 1, 4 out of 10. Okay, so, whoa, 4 out of 10. Color it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I have 4 out of 10, I have 4/10. Or, because it's less than one whole, but greater than 0, I can put a 0 in the ones place, add my decimal point, and put my 4 down. 4/10. We have number 2, we have 8/10. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I know I've colored 8 because I got 2 left. And here, again, greater than 0, but less than 1, we have 8 out of 10, or 8/10. Or, because it's less than 1, we don't have anything in the ones place. We have 0. Put your decimal point and write your 8. 8/10. Okay? All right. So that won't always be a 0 in that ones place. Okay? But for now it is. Alrighty. So this is going to be the independent practice for Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Schnetz's class. Mr. Tillish's class, please go ahead and complete the homework page. Okay? That's just the 4 on the front and the 6 on the back. Okay? 2, 4, 6, 7 on the back. Alrighty? So go ahead and give that a try. Use your foldable if necessary when writing out the answers to the questions. Alrighty. Thank you very much. Have a good one.